Have you ever stared at an options price, just watching it move, and felt like you were missing something big? You know, like there's this secret code that explains why it zigs when you totally thought it would zag? Well, guess what? There is. They're called the option Greeks, and today, we are going to crack that code.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that trips up, almost every single new options trader. It's a classic scenario that seems to make no sense at all, but it actually holds the key to everything. You buy an option, the stock goes absolutely nowhere, and yet you're losing money. How is that even possible?
So let's put some real numbers on this. Picture this. It's Friday and you buy a call option for $400. You're feeling good, you hold it over the weekend, you can't wait for Monday morning. The market opens and the stock price hasn't moved a single penny. But you check your account and your option is now only worth $320. You're down $80 and nothing even happened. This isn't some glitch, my friends. This is the first Greek getting to work.
And that leads us right to the first piece of our puzzle. The main culprit behind our weekend mystery is a Greek called Theta. You really got to think of it as this constant, invisible clock just ticking away against your options price.
Here's the most important thing you need to get about options. They are wasting assets. It's kind of like buying an insurance policy, right? You're paying for coverage over a certain period of time. And every single day that goes by, a tiny piece of that premium you paid, we call it time value, just evaporates. That $80 loss we just talked about, that was all Theta. That was the price you paid for holding the option over Saturday and Sunday.
And here's the kicker. Theta isn't this slow, steady drip. Oh no, it accelerates. An option with a month left might only lose a couple of bucks a day. But when you get into that final week, that time decay starts to speed up like crazy. It's like watching water swirl faster and faster as it gets closer to the drain, just eating away at your options value. For an option buyer, let me tell you, Theta is enemy number one.
So, if Theta is the enemy that's always working against you, our next Greek is usually the whole reason you bought the option in the first place. This one is called Delta, and it's all about which way you think the stock is going to go.
So if Theta is that ticking clock, think of Delta as your position speedometer. It tells you exactly how sensitive your option is to a move in the stock. For every $1 move in the stock price, up or down, how much is your option going to change? Delta gives you that number. And really, at its core, Delta just shows you the basic difference between calls and puts. A call option, it's got a positive delta because, well, you want the stock to go up. A put option has a negative delta because you make money when the stock price goes down. It's that simple. It's the foundation of your entire directional bet. Let me break it down for you. Let's say your call option has a delta of 0.50. If that stock price goes up by $1, your options price should, in theory, go up by about 50 cents. See? That's pretty straightforward. Delta gives you a direct dollars and cents estimate of what you stand to make or lose based on how the stock moves. But wait a minute, what happens if the stock moves another dollar in your favor, say from 101 to 102? Are you still only going to make another 50 cents? The answer is nope. And that leads us perfectly into our next Greek. Okay, so if delta is the speed, then gamma is the acceleration. And this is where things get really interesting, especially for option buyers, because this is what can make your profits start to snowball. What gamma does is it measures how much your delta changes when the stock moves. So what does that actually mean? It means that as the stock keeps moving in your favor, your option becomes even more sensitive to that move. In other words, your speedometer, your delta, is actually speeding up.
Let's go back to our example. So our call had a delta of 0.50, but let's add another number, a gamma of 0.10. When the stock moves up that first dollar, gamma kicks in and boosts your delta up to 0.60. So for the next dollar move up, you're not making 50 cents anymore, now you're making 60 cents, and then 70 and so on. This is what we mean by snowballing profits. Gamma is the awesome force that makes your winning trades win even bigger. But here's the thing, it's not just about the stock price and time. There's another major force out there, kind of a wild card, that's all about market emotion, fear, and uncertainty. And this one is called Vega.
Vega measures how an options price reacts when volatility changes. Now, implied volatility sounds fancy, but it's just the market's best guess of how much a stock is going to move around in the future. When the market gets nervous, right before a big earnings report or some Fed announcement, implied volatility shoots up. And when that happens, the price of all options, both calls and puts, gets more expensive. Vega is the Greek that explains why. And this is exactly what makes Vegas so incredibly important. See, we know the stock's price right now. We know exactly how much time is left until expiration. But future volatility? That's the one great unknown. It's based entirely on what the market thinks will happen, making it the one part of the puzzle that nobody can know for sure. If you can understand Vega, you're starting to understand the market's mood.
Okay, we've cracked the code on the key components: Theta, Delta, Gamma, and Vega. So now, let's put it all together on our trading dashboard and see how this whole system really works.
But first, a really, really important point. The Greeks are not a crystal ball. They don't determine the price. It's much better to think of them like the gauges on your car's dashboard. They don't control the car, right? But they give you absolutely vital information about what's happening and what might happen next. They are a reflection of risk, not a prediction of the future.
So here it is, our dashboard, the whole system at a glance. You've got Theta, the ticking clock, always counting down. You have Delta, your speedometer, showing you how fast you're moving with the stock price. You've got Gamma, the accelerator, which can really push that speed up. And finally Vega, the fear gauge, reacting to all the uncertainty in the market. When you look at them all together, you get a complete, multi-dimensional view of your trade.
So now that you have this code, the question really changes, doesn't it? Trading options is suddenly so much more than just a simple bet on whether a stock will go up or down. It becomes the strategic game of managing all these different forces. Are you making a bet against time decay? Are you trying to position yourself for a big spike in volatility? Understanding the Greeks. Well, that's the very first step from just making a guess to truly intelligently managing your risk.